Hi there and welcome to the Barbara Young channel and welcome to my Friday Sews. Thank you to Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room for creating the hashtag Friday Sews. Thank you. So we can all come together and show what we've been doing for the week. Now, what have I been doing for the week? I've got one make, just the one, because it was a little bit more involved than other projects that I've done. So it is the Kwik Sew 4029, which is a jacket. And as you can see, you can do it in single colour or contrast. And I done basically what is B. Well, I didn't. I did A, but I used the same material where it's meant to be the contrast, but it's the same pattern pieces, either one, whichever one you do. It's just that with B, there's no cuff part to it, which yeah, I'll mention that in a minute with those sleeves. But anyway, how did it come out? Let's have a look. And here we are, the finished product. Now, this did take quite a bit of time because it is fully lined, and there's a bit of odd shaping going on in here. This is actually originally from a curtain. Now, I forgot to take a photo of the original item, the curtain as it were, but yes, it's definitely a curtain that it came from. And it's a poly cotton, 50% polyester, 50% cotton. I've even kept the original tag, which I've put in here because it's got washing instructions on it, and put that into the actual jacket on the lining. So yeah, it's a poly cotton. Seems to be alright, doesn't it? Strange sort of blush pink is the only way I can describe it. I'm not sure if anybody else has got any opinions on the actual colour of it, but yeah, there we go. It's a jacket, and it was rather involved to make, partly because it is fully lined. As you can see, there's totally lined. It's basically making two jackets and then putting them one inside the other effectively. I've got my own tag on it as well, a little Barbara Young tag that I put in the stuff that I make. It's got this like one single piece that comes up and goes all the way round and creates the collar piece for it, which is very nice, and this little point at the bottom. So yeah, it's a nice jacket. Got slits as well for the back, and I do really like it. It's come out really well, a lot better than I thought it would do. The cuffs have got this odd detail where it's got this slit. They don't meet, well, they do meet, but they don't button up or anything. There's no actual thing to close you, which is good because when you put your arm in, you've got a little bit more room to actually get your arm in at the end there. There's nothing worse than a cuff that's really tight. But yeah, but they don't do up, so it's sort of just the one button. But yeah, that's the styling for it. It does have princess seams, and perhaps I was thinking maybe I could have adjusted these to be slightly less roomy, but then it's a jacket. I might be wearing something underneath it that's a bit bulky, so I do need room in this. As you can see, it can move about quite well in this. So yeah, it's actually come out really nice. I think it fits really well. I hopefully will enjoy wearing this. I'm not sure when. It's more of a summery thing. I know it's not summer anymore and it's raining outside, but yeah, it's actually quite nice. It'd be good as a layer and piece, really. You know, put this on as a piece underneath something else, you know, a bigger jacket, then take that off. I've still got this on underneath to keep me warm as a layer. So yeah, really, really nice. And I think it's come out really well, despite the efforts that I had when it came to putting the lining in. There's a story for you. So, what story have I got for you with regards to these instructions? Well, they're fairly straightforward actually, and they are pretty comprehensive, enough to be able to get the job done, but with one minor incident. I say minor, it's actually quite a big thing really. It's when you get into the end, sorry about the crinkliness, when you get to the end of this, it tells you to make the outer, make the lining piece, which you can make out of a different material if you want. You could do this section in a contrast. I've done it all from the same one curtain, which worked out quite well. A little bit tricky trying to work out how to get everything out of the one piece, but I did it, and there you go. So what have I got? I've got the jacket, I've got the lining, and it says to put them together in this instruction here, and you stitch them all together. Instruction 18, with lining and jacket wrong side out, pin right sides together at front and bottom edges, matching seams, stitch front, bottom and slit edges, pivoting at corners and breaking stitches at dots on slits, trim seam allowances and corners. Yeah, great, that's fine. That's how you put the inner and outer together, and then you sort of pull it all through the little slot that you've left until you end up with your jacket. But before you pull it all through, it actually says here, step 19, to finish sleeves, pin each lining sleeve to fabric sleeve over cuff, matching notches and sleeve seams. Be sure that sleeves are not twisted. Stitch cuff seams, trim seam allowances. And that's the picture. The only trouble is that it seems to be suggesting that you should have the lining into the jacket, the outer, before you actually pull it all through. But you can't do that. When I was putting it together at that point, I'm thinking that doesn't seem right, that doesn't sit right. My past experience of lining on sleeves and that, and I haven't really got much, I've never really made a jacket like this before, but my past experience made me think that that's not going to come out right. That's like being inside out, which makes no sense. But then this makes no sense neither, because when you pull it through, your sleeves are, one's not inside the other. This part is not inside the lining's not inside the actual sleeve. It's now outside of it. You've got two pieces, but they're joined at the cuff, which is not right. So I actually spent quite a lot of time trying to work out how I'm meant to sew that up to pull it through. In the end, I didn't sew up the cuffs. What I did is I pulled it through and then put the cuffs, matched them up once it was like this, and then stitched it and fixed it down that way, which just seemed to be a better way to do it. Otherwise it just doesn't seem to work. These instructions are a little bit odd when it comes to that step. I'm sure there must be a better way, and this just gives you one step for doing the sleeves, and I think actually it needs quite a bit more explanation than that. So that'll be something I'll need to learn about, and I'll probably do maybe do a bit about that at some point in the future, how to get those sleeves correct when you're doing a pull through, sort of, I don't know, is it bagging, debagging, I don't know what you'd call it, bag out or something like that, a jacket. So I shall have a look at that at some point in the future. Moving on to my next item that I want to talk about. It is actually about instructions yet again. I've noticed something about instructions. I noticed it a little while ago, but I didn't really pay much attention to it. But this time I thought I'll point it out and see what everybody else thinks about it. Now, with the instructions, they always tell you to lay your fabric out and get your pattern pieces on and cut it out. And it gives you instructions and details on laying it out, on what you should be doing to be able to cut out the pattern appropriately. And I have seen quite a number of videos, and for the majority, I suppose, not everybody, but it seems to be that most people seem to lay their fabric out, and if they need to fold it, they fold it over, and then when they put the pieces on, the fabric is the right side. You've got the right side of the fabric, put the pieces on, cut it out. Fantastic. Not everybody, but I suppose most people seem to. I did have a look through quite a number of videos and see if that was the case, and that's generally the case. Now, on most pattern, no, I wouldn't say most pattern pieces, but quite a few of the pattern instructions, it doesn't tell you what side you should cut it out from. But when I saw this on this particular pattern, which is, you know, the Kwik Sew 4029, I thought, oh, that's a little different. Now at the top, it gives me a layout. It tells me, it literally tells me what they are. Right side of fabric, wrong side of fabric, right side of lining, wrong side of lining, interfacing. It actually tells me what it looks like. But then when you look at the actual next piece, because that first one, that's the right side of the material, this one is the wrong side of the material, when we look at the instructions, it's actually showing us to put the pattern pieces onto the material on the wrong side. And I did have a look through some of my other instructions. Not all of them show it, but quite a few of them do actually show it, that you put your pattern pieces on the wrong side of the material, not on the right side. Now I don't know if it's just me, and I've only just noticed it and everybody else already knows about this, and I'm just being the one who's like, what, really? But you know what I mean, you're sort of surprised at what you sort of see when you really pay attention to the instructions. Or is it just sort of like that everybody just goes, yeah, that's how you lay it out, done, you know, cut it out and there you go. As long as you end up with all the correct pieces at the end that come together correctly, then what does it really matter? I suppose it doesn't. But yeah, I did notice that on the instructions it seems to tell you quite a lot of the time to cut it out on the wrong side of the material. Who knew? Well, next up is my friend scrap bag. Has anybody else got a big bag of scraps that they have hanging around? I've got a humongous bag where I've been collecting the bits and pieces. I keep thinking I might be able to use them for something. Are they going to be useful? Should I just throw them out? Now, don't get me wrong, I do throw stuff in the bin. I don't keep absolutely everything, but there are quite a few bits in here from different projects where I've got some stuff left over, and as you can see, over time it's built up. And I keep thinking, what am I going to do with it? What can I do with it? What should I do with it? I suppose, yeah, there's a question in that. What can I do with this big bag of scraps? Mr. Scrap Bag is taking up a lot of room, and I keep thinking perhaps I should just get rid. Perhaps I could do something with them. Have you got any suggestions of what I could do? If you can, put them down in the comments, because I'm not really sure. I mean, it's got to the point where I really do need to do something. I have taken some of the stuff and I've cut it down, get a little handful out, and I've cut it into much smaller bits. I could use this as, it's all everywhere, as stuffing for something, but I'm not sure what, maybe sort of cushions or something that needs a bit of wadding in there. But generally, yeah, Mr. Scrap Bag's getting in the way. So yeah, let me know what you think I should do with it all. So there you have it. That's been my week. Not a lot, I suppose. This did take, as I say, somewhat rather more time than maybe expected, but then I knew it was going to be an involved make. But other than that, just sort of plodding on. Life-wise, I've got nothing really to say. I just sort of plod on with the everyday, just get on. So, I mean, I suppose I'm one of those people that actually don't mind it being a bit sort of plod on. All those dramas that happen in life, I'm not really for it. So, yeah, a nice sort of, I wouldn't say easy week, but a fairly sort of plod along week. There you go. What more can I say about that? If you did like my video, please do give it a like, subscribe so you can see more future videos, and you'll get a notification if you click that bell icon, so you'll know when they're coming out, which is normally a Friday, but you never know, might throw it out at some other point. And if you like to put a comment, please do. I do like reading your comments. It's always great to have a good read of what you're all doing and what you're thinking. So yeah, especially about the scrap bag. I really need to know what on earth I'm doing with that. And of course, has anybody else had any issues with the sleeves? If you know about that as well, yeah, you could put comments about that, and also comment between yourselves, because it's always great to have that sort of chat, so we can always catch up between each other as well. So just left for me to say thank you very much for watching my video. I look forward to seeing my next video. Bye. Bye.